So everybody, welcome to this 50 minutes contact center introduction webinar. It's a webinar with Competella, which since June is an Enghouse company. So we start now and we hope to end up at 50 minutes. So please, for everybody who's joining, remember to mute your phone. And if you have any questions, please ask them in the chat. And also said the session is recorded and will be sent to you after the session, as well as to other people who has requested this one. So then I say beep to Lars, who's with me. So Lars Fredstedt, he is going to be the main speaker at this webinar, and he's also going to do the demonstration. So who am I? My name is Sofia Svensson, and I am the hostess of this webinar. I am the Marketing and Communication Manager, and I will help you with the chat questions that you send in. Also, we will do a follow-up survey. So please, if you have any suggestions that you think are important for this webinar to improve it, please send them in also in that follow-up survey. So beep, Lars. This is the agenda. It's first we're going to do a small introduction of Competella and now Enghouse. Maybe some of you already know about the Enghouse, but we still are going to give it. Lars is also going to talk a bit about the Competella solution overview. And then he is going to do the most important part, I think, which is going to be the live demo of the Competella Contact Center solutions. And that will include Contact Center Workgroup, one of the products we have, which is an advanced hunt group. He will also show you a bit about the Contact Center Enterprise, which is a 360 view to empower the agents. He will also talk about supervisor and agent tools, as well as talk about statistics, logs, and category codes for planning, utilization, and business intelligence. As well as he will show you how to manage the communication suite and delegate access. He will also talk about, in the slide, the enhanced 360 view with CRM Gateway and voice recording. Also a bit about the Competella Teams Extend integration and how easy it is to onboard. And then in the end, we will have a Q&A. So please send in your questions in the chat as soon as you have them, and we will take them when we have done everything. So I'm going to hand over now to Lars. Welcome, Lars.
Thanks a lot, Sofia, for handing over. So shortly, a little bit about our company. Well, Competella was a privately owned company, but that ended back in June 2022 as we were acquired by Enghouse and now is a company in the Enghouse group. The Enghouse company, Enghouse Systems Limited, is registered on the Toronto Stock Exchange in Canada and is publicly traded. They have with the Enghouse Interactive an annual revenue over 325 million euro. We have, with our new owners, 36 plus years of extensive contact center expertise that we'll benefit from, and they are supporting thousands of customers globally. So Enghouse has the world's broadest portfolio of contact center solutions and just about 2,000 employees globally. The future of Competella as an Enghouse company is that they intend to build upon our success at Competella through ongoing investments in our products, the customer service excellence, and the distribution channels that we have to provide the solutions and services that our customers and partners expect. Competella's customers and partners will also be offered access to the extensive Enghouse Interactive suite of products that are deployed both on-premise or in the cloud. And those consist of both contact center solutions, video conferencing, as well as self-service products. You are, of course, more than welcome to visit enghouseinteractive.com to learn more about the company. The Competella solutions that we are talking about today is a complete suite of products that are natively built for Microsoft Teams, and it includes contact center solutions as well as attendant console. So what we do is to fill in the gap of solutions that Microsoft do not provide with Teams telephony themselves. We also offer professional services, in-house support and training, both for customers and partners, agents, as well as administrators. The Competella Communication Suite is a cloud-based service, so basically a software as a service solution. Our just around 700 customers in Competella consists of 680,000 persons. And to talk shortly about the customer sizes that we deliver services to today, they go from everything between a couple of agents up to the biggest companies that have more than 100,000 employees. Our go-to-market model is both direct, as well as we sell our solutions through our certified partners who do the consulting, onboarding, as well as configuration for our end customers. The Competella Communication Suite for Teams consists of three major product lines, and that is in the order that we're going to present a couple of them today is the contact center work group. Customers looking for this type of solution would typically be requiring both rich statistics, both historical as well as real-time information. They would be looking for more advanced routing than the Teams call groups can actually do. And they would maybe also be looking for the capability of, as an agent, to receive calls both in Teams with simultaneous ringing, or for that matter, just being an agent that are not a Teams user who can receive calls on a mobile phone. The Competella Contact Center Enterprise is our high-end call center or contact center product. It provides a 360-degree view for the agents, and that consists of, on the top level, both of the queues and their current service level status. It consists of the agent status of other agents that are connected to the same queues or skills. It consists of a full overview of calls waiting in line. It also comes with the ability to see recurrent callers and see information about when did the caller dial in the last time, which agent did they speak to, if the call was transferred to, for instance, a subject matter expert in the organization, who is that, and what kind of Teams presence does they have. Of course, we enrich all of that with both real-time as well as historical statistics, analytics, and reporting. The Competella Attendant Console is our switchboard solution. It's probably one of the more advanced solutions on the market for Teams that provides good call handling, a rich client information overview, as well as both presence from Microsoft Teams, from Microsoft Exchange Online, as well as mobile presence in the Nordics. When you choose a Competella solution, what will happen is typically that there will be some kind of workshop where you will be discussing either with one of our partner system engineers, or if you are a direct customer with us, how your call flow should be. We offer the IVR Express for the Competella Communication Suite, and the IVR Express can be used if you would like to do some kind of menu-based interactive voice response routing, as well as if you require more advanced skill-based routing. It requires a subscription per call flow, but if you don't require this type of advanced routing and can go with our good and automated routing, which also includes some skill-based routing, then you will be good with the agent licenses themselves. So this is the top of the cream in terms of the routing mechanisms that you can choose to add on to the solution. So I'll now move over to the Contact Center Live demonstration. And what I will start out with is our advanced hunt group solution, which we call the Contact Center Work Group. What you see in front of you is a Teams client currently with a demo agent called Olivia Green logged into it. Olivia has gone into the App Store in Teams and have downloaded the embedded app for Teams called the Competella Contact Center Agent Portal. This is the tool for Contact Center Workgroup agents to be able to both go online or offline. It's the ability to choose where to receive the call, so that could be a simultaneous ring. It could be just on a PSTN phone number or inside the Teams app. Olivia Green is a member of 5 different skill groups, and as it's configured right now, Olivia has the ability to enter and leave into the skill groups that she is a member of. Furthermore, as Olivia is a supervisor, she also has the ability to both open and close the queues that she is a member of. And that means, of course, that if you close it, then it will follow the call configuration for the queue that is involved to that. Further down, I have some real-time overview as well as some accumulated information for these queues that Olivia is supervising, and I will shortly make a call also for you to see how that is happening. But what it shows in real time is, for instance, the number of logged in agents, the number of available agents, how many are in pause mode. It will show you also accumulated information over the day, as well as how many calls have been answered and waiting. I think I said that already. So that leaves me to presenting a call into the solution. So the call is being made right now. And we can now see that the call is waiting in line here, as well as it's presented to Olivia. What it presents in the Teams toast is the name of the queue. And as soon as it's answered and updated, then you will see the caller ID of the original caller as well as the queue name, so that you always are in control of who you're speaking to and where it came from. If I need, as an agent, to do further, for instance, transferring of the calls, then I just use the Teams app for that. And the call handling, of course, in terms of transferring, can be done in the Teams app on your desktop as well as on the mobile phone, if you would like to use that as a device. A new thing that we added to the Competella Agent Portal is the call history. So in the call history, you are able to search based on which queue the call came into, some call direction, as well as you can look at the call handling. But if I just do a search now, we get some information about the calls that have been received and handled by the queue today. And if I would like to click to dial, then I can do that. I can also copy out the phone number if I would like to use that feature and paste it somewhere else. So the Contact Center Workgroup is an advanced hunt group solution. It's both by our current clients, used both for blue-collar workers who are just using a mobile phone with a mobile phone number to receive calls. We typically see other case scenarios where it's on-call agents, because it's easy of course, to tag your Competella agent client also on the mobile app, enter and log into the app, go online, and then you will receive the calls where you have chosen to receive them. But we also see them, the use cases for back office staff, subject matter experts, and overflows in a contact center enterprise queue. So having said that, it means that a contact center workgroup agent can also be a member of the contact center enterprise solution. So now that ends the demo of the contact center workgroup part of it. When I move on in my demo, I will also be talking about both, for instance, statistics, real-time monitoring, and other add-ons. And those are, of course, part of the Competella Communication Suite, which includes the contact center workgroup that you have just seen. So while I'm logging on to the Competella agent client for the contact center enterprise, I can tell you that the authentication is happening based on that the agent as a user is already logged into the Teams application. And it means that, of course, we are using the security of Microsoft. It also means that if you are logging into, for instance, the Competella workgroup portal, or if you're logging into any other Competella web applications, that you are using the Office 365 authentication to log on. So looking at the Competella agent client, first of all, we see here that the agent shown is Olivia Green, so she's the user. Olivia has the ability to log in and out, meaning going into pause mode, or to just be available for in this case, 4 different queues that she is a member of. The queue overview shows how many calls are waiting. That's the 0 indication over here. The number 1 shows how many agents are actually serving in this particular queue, and green means that the queue is open. As Olivia is a supervisor, she can also, from the agent application for the Contact Center Enterprise, actually close and open queues. She has the ability also on the other agents, we have the agent overview here, to change the status of them. So in this case, I'm putting Emma Blue into pause mode, because when we're going to make some calls, then I'm sure that calls will be distributed to Olivia Green. Furthermore, I have some queue filtering option over here, and that will show who is a part of the different agents of the different queues, so that I know what kind of staff utilization that we actually have on the individual queue. Olivia has, when she's dialing out, the ability to choose which queue number that she would like to show. So it means that when doing an outbound call, she will not show her private Teams number. And of course, the strength of that is that if you do not get hold of the customer and they see a phone number, that they dial into the queue instead of to the individual agent. So that's part, of course, the contact center ideology. If I would like to change a little bit in the look and the feel of the solution, in this square over here, I have some monitored or tagged users, you can call it. So in this case, Max Lemon, he's the only one who is currently available according to his Teams presence. I can remove further information. So if I would like to use the space for something different, then I can actually easily do that also. This area is for the calls waiting in line. And a nifty thing about the contact center enterprise is that you, besides from the skill-based routing and the different ways of automatic distribution, that you can also cherry pick calls from the queue. So if you see the CEO, for instance, of your company calling in, then you can actually do a manual high prioritization of that particular caller. Over here, I have my parked calls. So typically you would park a call if you need to investigate something. Maybe you'll park it and then you'll go in pause mode, and then you can retrieve that call afterwards. Or maybe you just need to dial some of your colleagues, e.g., a subject matter expert. On the left-hand side, I have some counter information. So it shows information about how long is the current call, how much was the previous call handled, and some information about how many calls have I as an agent been handling today, meaning Olivia Green. This area is for the ongoing inbound call. If I need to do some kind of consult transfer, or if I need to create a three-party conference, I can also do that by enabling this area over here, and I can also toggle back and forth if I would need to do that. The lower part of the application is for the directory. The directory is fed from your Azure AD, and it's easy to search. And in this case, I did some search on Max and sales, and since Max has a keyword or skill on sales, then he's the one that appears. But also you can see that, for instance, AXA Sales DK shows up due to that we have enhanced our search capabilities with the solution. So that takes me to the next step, which is placing a couple of calls. Please bear with me. So the first call is coming in, and we can see over here that 2 calls are currently waiting in line. That information is also available in the different rows here. I am now being offered a call. So in this case, we can see the phone number of the caller. We are able to see which queue that the call came into. But also what we do as part of this 360-degree view is to present information about when did the caller dial in the last time. So that was today at 14:42, and that the customer spoke to actually also Olivia Green the last time that they dialed in. If I would like to see further information of calls from this particular phone number, I press my information search icon here, and then I'm able to browse back in time and see when did the caller dial in the last time, who were they speaking to in terms of agents, or how many missed calls have there been. But also what I can see is category codes, or also known as wrap-up codes. So I can see what subjects have the conversation been about with this particular customer. If I would like to involve, for instance, a subject matter expert, that could be Max Lemon here, then I have quick dial buttons to either do a blind transfer or consult transfer, as well as I have a lookup of the particular user in the organization that was involved in the last call with the caller. So in this case, what I'll do is to do a consult transfer. And I'll now in a second be connected to the subject matter expert. So now being connected, this gives me the option to present the caller for Max and tell a little bit about the inquiry of the caller. Max might ask a few questions about what the call is concerning, and that gives me the option to toggle back to the original inbound caller, ask some questions, return back to Max, reply to Max, it's about this and that. And then maybe Max, as a subject matter expert, will say, please, can you make a 3-party conference? And I've now done that. So all 3 parties are now talking together. During this conversation, Max might say, forget it, Olivia, this is nothing for you. You have some calls waiting in line, so I better take the call. And then I actually just hand over the call to Max. I'm now being prompted for the wrap-up codes in the solution. If the subject in this case was CCE, aka Contact Center Enterprise, save that. Then it goes into the conversation log and will be shown for later purposes or can be searched. And then I can, if a call was still waiting, be able to take that particular call. So a new call will be served, coming in. I'm just now receiving the call. I can see here that again, it's actually the same customer calling back, and that that he dialed in the last time at 1452. That the wrap-up code, the category code was CCE, and by the way, that a note was added that he is apparently a happy customer. But also what I see is that Max, he's currently away. So if the customer would like to speak to him, then it's I can of course just send an email to Max. One moment, like this. And there I can use one of the customized messages. So dear Max, please call Lars on this phone number. And then I sent that to him. And I can now tell the customer that Max will be calling as soon as possible. All right. But if I now found out that Max, he is a subject matter of further specialties, then I can also go into the database, add or manage the keywords for him, create a new one, call that Inchhouse, for instance, and then add it to his skills and apply them, close them, and then do some generic search. And I could, of course, do like this, Inchhouse. Hope that I spelled it correctly. That comes. It just needed to go all the way to Azure, where the Competella cloud is stored. And we can now see, of course, that Max also has capabilities within Inchhouse. So this brings me to the next part of my demo, which is about other supervisor tools than the ability for Olivia, as you saw before, to be able to both force agents into the queue as well as actually force them out or put them into pause mode. What we have here is the Competella Quality Monitor. In this case, it's showing well, the real-time information of 6 queues. We can see that on the different queues, different metrics have been applied to be shown. And of course, some of them are accumulated information over the day. And there it also calculates the quality of service rate for the particular queue. As an administrator, you are able to add or move or change the metrics that are shown. So if I go down here, then I could, for instance, remove some of the metrics, and it updates, of course, immediately. Showing that this is not just a a website that has no live information, what I can do again is now I've placed one call in the Support English queue, and then of course in this case my agent client pops up. But in this case now I've placed two calls in line, and yeah, it is basically real-time information that I am able to see here. So that takes us from the real-time information that of course can be used for yeah, of course, for information. The information is used to find out if you have enough agents serving the different queues, how many calls are waiting, and if you are using, for instance, our callback service for the individual queues, that then you can enable that, or it enables itself. And instead of customers waiting in line, then they will keep their place in queue. They can hang up and can be called back when it's their turn to be served. Next part of the presentation goes for the statistics, logs, and the new standard templates that we have. So in this case, I'm logged in as an administrator, and here I have different templates that we have recently released. So if I, for instance, have a look at the call summary report, so this is a template, and it means that when you have a template, you can also enrich it with further metrics or filtering that you would like to see. So in this case, I could choose which particular queues I would like to see information for. I can choose which agents I would like to see information for, the period of time, either one of these predefined ones, or I can go into specific date ranges that I would like to have a look at. Knowing that August have been also partially an vacation month, I will go a little bit back in time. Look in June, from June 1st to June 30th, in a second, like this. Then what I could do is to choose if I would like to group it on the queue or on the agents. I could choose if I would like to see both internal or external calls. I have the ability to group what timeline or workload that I would like to have a look at. But knowing right now that it's a full month that I'll be looking at, then a daily period of time would probably be good. I could choose to see it within the opening hours, or I could choose to see it also more extended, meaning the ability to see how many calls do we actually get outside opening hours. And that information is, of course, also valuable, maybe to inform end customers or give them other channels to contact the company or the department on. Then that takes me to the metric selectors, which are very advanced, where you have the ability to choose between all the different call metrics that are available. And I can group them further. I can add a lot of different information. And when I do a refresh, it crunches the data from and gets it from the tenant database of the customer. And in this case, it shows the dates where calls were made to this demo tenant to the queues that I'm looking at. So in this case, I see the number of incoming calls, the number of answered calls, as well as the number of abandoned calls. And if there were some overflowed calls, I would also be able to see them on this particular report. Every single end customer or supervisor or manager of a customer service or a help desk or citizen service or whatever kind of department is being run, they have different requirements of what they would like to see. And one thing is, of course, that we have an extensive statistics user guide that can be used, but we also offer professional services around this and training courses, so that when you as a new customer would like to see some specific information, and you are not able to find that out yourself, then we offer these training courses also, so that you can succeed actually finding your information. The CD, the statistics is one of course one thing to show it in a graphical view, but another thing is that you can see the data also in a list. Plus, you have the ability to download that information to Microsoft Excel. If you, as a manager, customer, or a supervisor, would like to drill down to information, it could be maybe that you have had some kind of complaints. Then you can actually follow the calls and the history from cradle to grave, and you do that through the call distributor logs. In here, I can also filter, for instance, on queues. I have the ability to filter on what type of call that I would like to see, on particular agents, the period of time. But I can also do it if it's a specific customer from a particular phone number that have some kind of complaint. Then I can also go in and find that information. So here I have all the calls that came in from this particular phone number, or where this particular phone number was involved. And if I, for instance, on the 18th of August had this abandoned call, and the complaint was about that, then I just press the events, and it gives me information about what time of day did the call enter into the queue, if the call was offered to an agent, and then in this case where the call was terminated. So this is where the caller gave up and chose to leave the queue. So the ability to track back what have been happening and use that information, of course, to coach your agents to perform their best, and maybe train them if they need further information how to handle the systems, or maybe it's more business related that they need to get upgraded. The conversation log of the Competella Communication Suite, I will touch that also briefly. But what I would also like to do is to show you the conversation log. In the conversation log, this is where you have the ability to start doing your business intelligence, because this is also where you can see and manage the wrap-up codes or category codes that are presented as an option for the agents when they end a call with the customer, where they can select the category code. And this is configurable on a per queue basis, so that if you have, I don't know, 10 different queues, and those 10 different queues and the agents that they operate and service different aspects and subjects, then they are only presented with those subjects for the category codes that they are actually a subject matter expert within. So in this case, what I could do is to see what kind of calls did we have with category CCE, for instance, in the date range of 25th of July to the 25th of August. And here I see all the calls that have been involved in that. For the logs, that's of course, since all call information are logged into the database, and then of course in these privacy policy and GDPR times where we need to make sure that sensitive data is well, first of all, not lost, but moreover, if a customer requires you as a company to anonymize records about them, then it's easy to do so. So in this case, I could just anonymize the selected records, and then you as an administrator would no longer be able to trace them. So yes. For the statistics reports that we briefly touched before, what we also offer there is the ability to schedule the different reports. So maybe I should shortly go back, if you remember. First of all, we had some system templates, but if you make your own and design your own reports and store them, then you have the ability also to send these reports out to a distribution group by email in Excel on a recurrent basis. So that could be, for instance, every day at 8 o'clock, you receive the reports of the day before, so that you're able to drill down and see how that went. Yes. The management of the solution. This is also something that we will touch today. So since I'm logged in as a system administrator, I can basically do all adds, moves, and changes, and yeah, and this gives me the ability on the fly to do some changes. The directory that you also saw before in the multimedia agents for the contact center enterprise, of course, accesses the same directory. So if I would like to search for particular users in the directory, then I can do that here. And as an administrator, I also have the ability to provide access roles to other users. So that's everything from super user to a user or agent to yeah, whatever you prefer for this particular user. This is, you can say, seen from a from a holistic point of view. This limits the access to different parts of the management tools, but it also you also have the ability to actually, on an organizational level, to control what kind of access a user should have. And you do that by going into the agent groups, which are basically skill set groups. You select the agent group that this particular sub-administrator should have the right to manage. You go into the administrators, you find that particular user and add them. And that means that when Max Lemon, as an administrator, logs on to the Competella management tools, then he will only be able to see the assigned agent groups with connected queues, as well as statistics, as well as recordings, and so on. So what I will do now is actually to see what kind of members that I have on this particular queue. So as we see here, I have a number of members. If I would like to add a new one, in this case also my preferred friend, Max Lemon, then I can do that. I can also control what kind of access he has as an agent, if he can close are able to close the queues, if he's a supervisor, and more. So when I add him now, then he is connected to this particular agent group. And it means that as soon as he logs in to either the contact center work group or to the contact center enterprise, that he will be able to receive calls as an agent. Moreover, for the administration side, we have the queues, or the services, as they are typically called nowadays. This is where you have the ability to, for instance, choose to prioritize other queues higher than other queues. So basically creating a VIP queue that is where from calls are served before the other queues to the agent group members that are a part of that. Furthermore, if I would like to do some kind of skill-based routing, what I can do is I can add multiple agent groups. So this is the support_eng that we had a look at just before. So if I want to add further groups, then I go in, I set a timeout on the agent group and what the offering interval should be. The trick about this is that you add and can add the same agent, of course, to several agent groups. And of course, if all agents on the first agent groups are already busy in a call or not logged in, then of course it will start searching for an agent and distributing it to the next agents with the best possible skill in the next agent group. Another thing for the queue administration side is the announcements. So announcements are, for instance, on the included queues for the agent structure, welcome messages, it is hold messages, it is the ability to also use positioning queue information. It is, of course, after hours messages as well. And if you have already uploaded sound files to the system, then you'll be able to choose between them. You can listen to the current welcome announcement, and you can, of course, upload further files if you wish to do that. And when you say save on this through this interface, then it goes directly into live operation immediately. So you can do stuff on the fly. So then maybe some people would ask, but can I not schedule different events to happen on specific times and dates? And my reply to that is, yes, of course you can. So first of all, you can add a schedule to the queue. And if you would like to do that even more advanced, then you could use an IVR endpoint in front of the queue to make your menu structure, the different nodes and branches that you would need, where you can, on the individual node and branches, also actually set schedules, opening hours, and behavior. Overflow. A very important and integral part of the base queues is that you can choose what kind of action that you would like to have. That could be disconnecting the call, that's a bit rude, but it could also be that you overflow to another queue or an external number or a voicemail, for instance. The overflow actions can be controlled on both a number of calls waiting in line as well as a timeout period. And you also have the ability to choose if you want to use the FIFO or the LIFO methodology of doing so. But what happens then if if the queue is closed? What should then happen? You're also always able to set that. Could be that you have the requirement of having some kind of team meeting with the agents of a particular queue. Then you can easily go in, forward the queue to, for instance, an external number or another queue. And while you do that, well, when you say save, then calls will go to that particular destination. If no agents are logged on to the individual queue, what happens then? Here you have the ability to choose where calls should go based on that. So this ends the presentation of the demo today, and I'll now go over to the PowerPoint.
Lars, now you have 1 minute.
That's not a lot. I need more.
No. I just sent in the chat that if anybody needs to leave, you can do that. I will send you the recording afterwards, so no worries. You will not miss it if you.
Thanks a lot, Sophia. That's great. Thank you.
Good.
The Competella solution offers enhancements to the 360-degree view, which I've presented to you already. And that is, for instance, with the CRM gateway for the contact center enterprise. With this solution, we have click next integration for Salesforce and Microsoft Dynamics, so a turnkey solution. And with that, you have the ability both to do screen pop of the CRM system. You can do lookup from the CRM system and show it in the Competella client. You can route calls based on CRM information, as well as you can prioritize callers based on CRM information. For other CRM or IT service management systems than the Salesforce and Microsoft Dynamics, we have an open API, meaning that we actually have an easy way of integrating those as well. Another part of the enhanced 360-degree view is the voice recording. The voice recording is also an app based integration with Microsoft Teams. So you just register a recording bot in your Azure tenant, set up the credentials, and it gives you the ability to record all inbound or outbound calls for the contact center enterprise, or for that matter, to do an on-demand recording. Recordings are accessed through the management tools that I showed you before. There you can listen, download, or delete the recordings. The Competella solution is Extend model integrated to Teams. And that means that, well, on a high level, that we keep all the calls, the voice calls, inside the Teams topology. It's easy to integrate with our solution, because all you need to do is to register 5 apps in your Azure tenant. So and then you hand over the credentials and the secret keys to us, and then you are basically up and running. The other power of the Extend integration model is that you have a freedom of choice if you would like to use direct route, if you would like to use Operator Connect, or if you would like to use Microsoft calling plans. And the good news that I also have today is that Competella Communication Suite have recently passed the Microsoft 365 app certification. And the app certification is an extended, enhanced, massive assessment that the solution have gone through, both within compliance, privacy, identity, certification, data handling, and general. So we are happy to announce this. What will follow soon is the actual contact center certification for Teams, and it's actually just small stuff that we need to hand over, and then we will be published on the certified contact centers for Microsoft Teams on their web page. That ends the, I would say, extended demo and presentation that we have today. Are there any questions?
Yes, it is, Lars, and some actually kind of have been answered by you, but I can start with the first one. Mm-hmm. Hi, Lars. Is it possible to show data from a CRM solution, and where would it be shown?
Yes. So for the turnkey solutions that I just spoke about, we are able to show that information from the CRM system directly in the Competella agent client for the contact center enterprise. So that could be name of the customer, could be maybe information about the last activity that was with the customer or similar. Yes.
Good. The next question, do you integrate with the WFM solutions? WFM
yes.
solutions.
Yes. So we have recently and silently, we have made an API available for external solutions to actually dig in to the call log database of the tenant. So yes, the answer is yes.
Thank you. What about channels like Facebook, Messenger, WeChat, chat, emails, etc.? Is this an omnichannel contact center?
The Competella Communication Suite is currently not an omni-channel contact center.
Okay.
So that gives us the option, of course, to provide that in the future. Yes.
Thank you. Does the agent need to have the team's phone system license? Does it work without, but with limitations?
Yes, it is possible to have an agent running with an E1 or E3 license for Microsoft Teams, and there you will be able to actually both, I think, receive calls as well as place calls, because when an agent is dialing out from the Competella Contact Center Enterprise, then it's actually the calling bot that is handling the call.
Okay, good. What about SAP CRM? I think you answered that also a bit.
Yes, I did. We have an open API, and it's extremely agile. So depending on, of course, what the requirements are, then we can probably make an easy way of integration to SAP also.
Good. And then what it seems like right now, the last question. Is it possible to do mobile line status integration against an operator so that my line can be set to an in call even if I'm only busy in my mobile phone? Are you exposing some sort of API for this?
I'm not fully sure that I understood the whole content of the question, but we most definitely already have integrations to multiple telecom service providers where you receive the data of the mobile numbers. And I'll read through that question after this session today, and we'll come back with a more proper answer, or contact the questionnaire.
Yeah, what we can do is actually, maybe we can take that question and add it into the email that we sent out also, because maybe some other people are wondering.
Definitely.
Good. I think that was all. We had some good comments. So some people are looking forward to actually go from Skype for Business on-prem to a SaaS solution, which is very nice.
Fantastic. That's also one of our favorite solutions to migrate.
Yes, good. So if we don't have any more questions, we are a bit late, but please fill in the survey. I can send it in the chat once again. I have already sent it, but please help us to fill it in so we can improve. Actually, this webinar is a result of that people wanted to have a longer demonstration, which we now have had for the first time. So thanks a lot from me. And also the last thing is, maybe I would like to tell you that we have the same kind of 50 minutes introduction webinar on September 29th of our attendant console solution.
Yes, that's correct. So if you would like to see what we are able to do with that, please sign up or send us an email, and we would be most happy to serve you and welcome you to that. And if you have any other types of questions, please contact your local sales representative. You are also welcome, of course, to contact your local Competella certified partner. We are here to help both customers, prospects, as well as partners. So thanks a lot for attending today's session.
Great. Thank you. Bye-bye.